In the crumbling world of hollowbody, the exclusion zone around Barnsdon is more than just a no man's land. It's a graveyard of broken promises, forgotten people, and warped ambitions. The towering walls that surround this forsaken place, meant to protect, instead cage in the remnants of a failed utopia. The game's haunting atmosphere tells the story of a city that once dreamed of prosperity, but fell prey to corporate greed, secrecy, and the ravages of an uncontrollable biological anomaly. At the heart of hollowbody lies Barnsdon, a city whose history is mired in corruption and decay. Sherwood, a powerful philanthropic organization, once sought to transform this struggling city with promises of wealth, modern infrastructure, and economic revival. The streets, as revealed through scraps of newspaper and confidential letters scattered throughout the game, tell a different story. Instead of the vibrant future it was promised, Barnsdon became a ghost town, its residents forsaken by the very entity that claimed to be their savior. Sherwood's initial project, a grand revitalization effort meant to breathe life into the dying city, slowly morphed into something sinister. Financial strains mounted as utility bills quadrupled, businesses vanished, and eerie disappearances haunted the city's residents. The grand promises of job creation turned to dust, leaving only echoes of discontent and fear as people either fled or were swallowed by the burgeoning chaos. In the shadows of Sherwood's failure, Echo Gardens, a pharmaceutical conglomerate, began testing its controversial AI-powered nanocell technology in Barnsdon. The purported goal? To stop aging itself, offering humanity the dream of near immortality. But as with many ambitious ventures, the cost proved fatal. The in-game notes detailing the deaths during Echo's trials reveal the horrifying side of this experiment. Their AI-powered nanocells, while promising in theory, wreaked havoc on the human body. As players traverse the town, they witness the grotesque aftermath. Humans who seem to be fused into metallic structures, their bodies frozen in time. These once living beings, trapped in these unnatural forms, are the result of failed experimentation. The nanocells designed to extend life instead contorted and warped these individuals into something neither fully human nor fully dead. This failure of Echo's vision is the twisted core of the exclusion zone, a biological catastrophe caused by greed and unchecked ambition. For the residents of Barnsdon, hope died long before the monsters emerged. The utility bill marked with final notice shows the economic decline. The shift schedule and discarded letter hint at a community under constant surveillance and control by Sherwood's private security. The feral effers, as one letter notes, might not have been human at all by that point. They could have been the early victims of Echo's experiments, half-living shells of what they once were, now dangerous and unpredictable. The once thriving neighborhoods, now littered with notes about missing persons, betray a darker truth. Sherwood's security force wasn't just maintaining order. It was silencing anyone who questioned their role in the growing number of disappearances. Residents were left stranded, powerless to fight the invisible forces that were closing in on them, isolated from the outside world by towering walls that sealed them in with the very thing that was destroying them. Mika's journey, motivated by her need to find Sasha, pulls players deep into this narrative of decay and loss. Sasha, the scientist we control in the prologue, was driven by the same search for answers that ultimately doomed Barnsdon. What had begun as a desperate search for a scientific breakthrough became a nightmare, one that Mika must now confront as she navigates the remains of the exclusion zone. The monstrous being that emerges in the cave where Sasha disappeared is more than a simple antagonist. It represents the culmination of Echo's experiments, something born from humanity's reckless pursuit of immortality. The creature, with its twisted frame, is a living embodiment of the failed nanocell technology, a fusion of man and a machine that has lost its soul in the process. It's both terrifying and tragic, a warning of what happens when science and ethics collide. Throughout hollowbody, players uncover radio signals and notes that piece together the lives of Barnsdon's forgotten residents. These signals serve as the last remnants of those who suffered under the weight of corporate overreach. From the child's innocent wish to buy their mother a new daddy, to the grim shift schedules and confidential letters about breaches of secrecy, every document paints a picture of lives interrupted by a disaster they could not understand. Even the smallest scraps of information, like the complaint about strange noises at 2 a.m., hint at the horrors lurking beneath the surface. The people of Barnsdon were unwitting participants in a grand experiment, their lives twisted and distorted by forces they couldn't fight. The tension, secrecy, and eventual collapse of normalcy echo through each piece of lore, building a world where survival becomes not just a necessity, but a battle against the very fabric of the city itself. Hollowbody is a story about the dangers of ambition without accountability. The exclusion zone around Barnsdon isn't just a physical boundary. It's a metaphor for the hollow promises that corporate entities like Sherwood and Echo Gardens make to the public. The city was sold a vision of the future, but what it received instead was a grotesque experiment that twisted both its infrastructure and its people beyond recognition. As Mika struggles through the decaying streets and monstrous threats, her journey reflects the desperation of all those who were abandoned by the systems meant to protect them. At its heart, Hollowbody is a tale of loss, of lives, of humanity, and of the moral compass that should guide progress. And it asks the question, what price are we willing to pay for the future? And what happens when that future comes back to haunt us? In the end, Barnsdon, like the creatures that roam its streets, has become a hollow shell of what it once was, filled with the echo of dreams that were never meant to come true.